Hey everyone. So I'm just going to go ahead and review in case some people need support on how to fill in this quiz. I'm going to go step by step using the Christianity DBQ evidence slides. So please make sure you take a moment to open up whichever version you have of the draft, either draft A, B, or C. Draft A doesn't have any sentence starters in it. Draft B has some sentence starters. And then draft C has sentence starters and a little bit of evidence built in. So no matter what draft version you have, everyone has the same questions. And the first question is, why did the Roman government persecute Christians? Why were Christians seen as a threat to the Roman Empire? Well, we went over this question very much in class. In case you weren't there though, you can find the evidence from handout number 28, the bottom of page 1. So don't forget, you can just use these slides. I posted them today, Friday. So if you're not sure, like, I can't find handout number 28, I don't know where to get evidence from, literally you're getting evidence from this particular slide. Persecution of Christians. Why did the Roman government persecute Christians? You read the evidence from here and then summarize and make sure you use your own words. You don't need to cite evidence for number 1. Just kind of say a summary of what that is instead of actually saying, according to handout number 28, quote unquote. It doesn't have to be that formal, okay? So yeah, just tell about why the Roman government persecuted Christians and why Christians were seen as a threat. Please know that 2A is already done for you. You do not have to answer the question, how did the Romans persecute Christians? The purpose of 2A and 2B is that I noticed that this was a very long quiz, so I wanted to make sure that I answered 2A as a model for how I want you to answer 2B. So notice in my teacher exemplar how I introduce and cite the document, and then I also quote and summarize the purpose of document C to prove my claim. So you want to be, this is kind of how I want yours to look in a similar fashion. So you can read number 2A yourself, the teacher exemplar response, but now you're going to answer number 2B, which is worth 7 points. It's the most important question, and it's a little bit harder, right? What role did martyrs play in the spread of Christianity? In order for you to get a good grade on number 2B is you want to make sure you go through every single step of the criteria for success without skipping anything. So let's start off with letter A. Martyrs are, right? So what are martyrs? In case you forgot, I literally put it in the slide. You can go back to the slides. A martyr is a person who is killed for their beliefs, right? And so writing something along those lines, paraphrasing or finding synonyms. And then the next step, if you look, letter B is to write a claim to the prompt. So you're going to say martyrs played a, and come up with some synonyms for important. Choose one of these. Did martyrs play a significant, vital, essential, pivotal, big, large, whatever adverb you want to put in there, whatever, feel free to put it in, whichever one you choose, but just make sure it has a feeling of importance, right? Martyrs who died for their beliefs played a huge role in the spread of Christianity because, and make sure you're kind of using evidence from this part. Remember that, like, by refusing to perform the sacrifices, some people became famous martyrs, people who died for their faith. And the effect of the government persecuting and killing these martyrs is that actually the number of Christians increases, because as people see the martyrs dying and being so brave, it motivates people to and inspires them to become Christian themselves. So even if the person died, some people in the audience that hear and see this person dying for their religion get basically inspired to do that. And so that's what you would put for letter B, is why would these martyrs help the spread of Christianity, and explain that piece. Pause the video whenever you need to. So for the next part, this is the harder parts. For C, you want to introduce and cite document A. So I have included document A on this slide, and I've kind of made the red part kind of the way you can introduce or cite document A. So source A, it was about Perpetua and Felicity, right? 2 women that were arrested because they refused to worship Roman gods. And then an eyewitness is going to describe their execution and how they were killed. So what you want to do here is just introduce and cite document A, talk about like why they were arrested and how they died later on, and kind of summarize or introduce that part. Then D is quote or summarize the purpose of document A to prove your claim. So when you summarize or quote the purpose or, what happens in the story, I would highly encourage you to focus on how brave the woman was, right? When Felicity fell down and Perpetua grabbed her back up and they stood together against the cow, or how like Perpetua didn't feel any pain because she was so happy to die for God, or that when she held the blade to her own neck as the gladiator was about to behead her, how she wasn't afraid of death in any of those circumstances. And so you would use that to kind of explain how that's going to inspire other people to join Christianity. Why seeing her be so brave could maybe make people want to be more curious about Christianity. So that's what you do for D. If we move on to E, it asks you to use numerical data from figure 1 on handout number 30 to show the effect of martyrs on Christianity's spread. So if you check out this particular graph that was located on handout number 30, what I want you to notice, all you got to do is mention some numbers, okay? So what this says is, please talk about how after many people get martyred, including Perpetua and Felicity, the number of Christians still increases. Right? You would think that by killing all these martyrs that people would be afraid to be killed themselves and, everyone would just stop converting to Christianity. But we know that's not true, because if you look at, the date of 203 CE, the date that these women were martyred, there were only 200,000 Christians. Then about 50 years later, the number increases to 1 million. And so what you would do is you would use that numerical data to prove that despite them killing all these Christians, the number of Christians still grows. And that proves your claim. So the last part is F, conclude, link your evidence back to your claim. And so you can choose one of these words. You can say, in conclusion, altogether, to sum up, to conclude, or whatever you want to do. This evidence shows how martyrs increase the spread of Christianity by, and explain, just link back to your claim of how martyrs really did help Christianity spread. Okay? And then once you finish that is it. You can turn it in. And if you still get stuck, let me know. You can email or text me. I'll try to respond. And have a wonderful break. You definitely deserve it. Rest, relax, heal, do whatever you need to do.